Hello, this is Mish, and welcome to another Westworld video. This one is around the promo for episode 10, the finale, the Bicameral Mind. So I wanted to jump on the hype train and put some more theories into just the promo that I've seen. So with this promo, the whole time we've got Ford providing a monologue around his new narrative. But that really interlocks with some scenes we have. So I'll mention that every now and again. So I'll break it down into characters, what we're seeing. So let's start with Teddy. So we see Teddy is back, and he's on the train heading back to the center of the park. So we see Teddy, he's going on a killing spree. And it really looks like maybe it's the start of the whole flashback to Escalante and Wyatt. But later in the promo, we see Ford in the middle of his speech, and we see Teddy there. So I'm going to reverse that scene. So we see, I think what might see is Ford introducing his new narrative, and Teddy is the main component. Then Teddy gets on the train. Then Teddy goes on a killing spree similar to Escalante. So maybe that's the whole narrative around him. And we saw his leanings towards Wyatt last time as well. And another point, so the monologue around Teddy. When we see Teddy, it says a good story. So Ford saying a good story. So we're definitely, that for me kind of points that Teddy's going to be the main focus of the story around the narrative. Okay, so let's move on to Maeve and Felix, and Hector, I guess. So we see Maeve and Felix. Looks like Maeve's in a full dress, ready to leave. But we also see that she's enabled Hector and his crew. So we see them, looks like they're breaking out and probably dismembering and killing the staff. So we see Hector sneaking up behind one of the staff. And we see another one of Hector's, the lady with the snake tattoo. So she looks like she's biting a finger off one of the staff. So not sure how that would occur. But so we see them kind of rising up, and we see them all going down to the basement. So Maeve finds Clem, which I wonder if she'll attempt to, bring her back. If she can bring her back, possibly. After they've, lobotomized her. Remember the drill went up the nose. So I wonder if she'll attempt that. So we see, Maeve is getting an army, trying to leave. But the strange thing about that is, it looks like there's two things happening there. Maeve by herself, trying to leave, and Maeve with a recruited army. Because we also see Maeve walking down, going down an escalator to the train station. And she's not with a whole bunch of people, she's by herself. And it looks pretty calm and collected. So how have we gone from her having a whole rabble of people, injuring and killing staff members, to her calmly going down the escalator? So I'm not sure how that's going to occur. But it'll be interesting to find out. Also a note here, look at the logo in the background behind Maeve. It's the new logo, and remember when we saw William and Logan enter that park, it was the old logo. Another thing around Maeve, when she sees Clem, when they go down to see Clementine in the basement, is Bernard still going to be there on the ground? That will be interesting. If he's gone, if there's any blood, what will we see there? Or will he be there? Will his corpse be there? And are they going to attempt to fix him? Are they going to attempt to do anything? It will be interesting to see. Okay, so now on to Men in Black and Dolores. Now it looks like these characters stay around that church the whole time, because we see the Men in Black and Dolores walking out to the graves. And that must be where we see Dolores seeing her own grave, so Dolores Abernethy. The question is, who's buried there? Is that where she has buried Arnold? Possibly. And then we see possibly an altercation. Because at that point, when they're walking out to the grave, everything looks quite civilized. But then at some point, we see Dolores and the Men in Black really in each other's face, and Dolores has a busted lip. So how has that occurred? Because before this point, Dolores didn't have any facial damage or trauma in the previous episode. So how is that going to occur? And then we also see Dolores dragging off the Man in Black. So there's something that happens between those characters. And it seems that it's obviously going to be quite violent, so that will be cool to see what's going to go on there. Now, Ford's monologue for Dolores, it's kind of saying, the people we dreamed of being, and she's looking at her gravestone. So is that saying that she dreamed to be Dolores, and it's now not possible? That's also a pretty cool situation there, and what that is suggesting. You can really take that to mean many things. Okay, so now let's move on to Logan and William. So we see in the shots that Lawrence is with these characters. So we see William seems to be in control of the situation, and Logan seems to be a prisoner. So it doesn't look good for him. But we see that there's a lot of Confederales that have been killed, and it looks like William is doing a lot of the work, and he has a bit of help from Lawrence as well. So it kind of the suggestion here that William has gone full psycho, and he has descended into the Man in Black persona that we all know that he's been heading towards. But once again, I'll say it, even though there's always many comments about when I say this. I know that William is very likely to turn into the Man in Black, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. I prefer to see a real twist with this, because William and the Man in Black has always been the main, William has always been the main contender for the Man in Black role. And I would just love to see it turn around to be Logan. Just to really throw the conspiracy theories that we've all had for the last couple of months out the window on this character. It would be awesome. And I know we can say that he's got the same colour eyes, he's got the same colour hair, but how far are we going to go with this? It's clearly not the same person. There's two different actors playing these characters. How far are we going to go with this? We see that the Ford, his younger version of himself is obviously CG. So why would they not do the same thing for the Man in Black? If they wanted to portray a younger version of the Man in Black, shouldn't they be doing CG there? Why would they? Obviously it saves money doing it this way. But once again, I'm playing devil's advocate here with my anti-William and Man in Black stance. But I'll repeat, because this seems to be the sticking point for a lot of people. I do think that William will turn into the Man in Black. I think we've already seen that long ago. But my point is, I don't necessarily like that. I prefer it to be Logan, because I want it to be a twist. But anyway, let's move on. And the only thing as well with the monologue for these characters, for Logan, William, and Lawrence, I guess, is that the monologue says a deeper truth, and it's reference to William. So once again, we see that, the real William coming into the play and out of his shell, you could say, in the park. The only other really thing we're seeing here is not a lot. It's just a little, sneak peek promo. We see that the park. There's a shot of the park, the main map area, and that's all gone dark. And we see to the left as well. It could just be a random extra because there's many extras in that scene. But it could be that because Stubbs is gone, the head of security, we saw him taken out last time. We're not sure if he's captured or killed. But maybe they've already got a replacement for him. Maybe someone stepped up. Or maybe there's a rapid response team if things turn bad in the park. And maybe that's what he is. Because that dude looks pretty big. Whilst he's obviously got a gut sticking out there, his arm looks pretty big. So I'm going to say that guy's going to be pretty tough. He looks like a pretty tough character. But he could just be an extra. We're not sure. And what else do we have? Well, I guess we've got a couple of scenes here where we can see security guards going through hosts. So in the basement area. So I wonder if that poor schmuck that's going through between the hosts is going to get taken out. Quite likely. Because, the hosts could all pretend to be offline. And all of a sudden, bam, he's gone. So it looks like this episode is going to cover off most bases. Maybe not the Arnold. That's anything that we're probably going to be missing here. So we see, the narrative and how Teddy's going to be involved with that, I think. We see Maeve and Felix, and Maeve recruiting her army, and Maeve trying to escape. So that'll be good to see if she actually gets out. Or does she not? Does she fail? I think she's going to fail. I don't think she can get out, because then the interesting part about this whole thing is that they've got another season booked in. So they have to continue the story. If Maeve and all her army or recruits, whatever you want to call them, if they get out, if a few of them get out, the park's probably going to be closed down. Unless they can hide it, unless they can cover it up. So the Man in Black and Dolores, not sure we're going to see a lot with those characters. It looks like it's really centric around the church. I don't think we're going to get any maze answers at that point. I think we're just going to learn more about how Dolores possibly killed Arnold. And maybe we'll see a resurgence of the character William with Dolores at that point. And with Logan and William, we're going to see a lot more death and destruction to the Confederale, which is always good. And we're going to see Lawrence back in the picture. But are we going to see, I guess the thing around Logan and William, so not so much about who they're going to turn into, but more about how they're going to resolve it. So if we say William is going to be the Man in Black, as obviously we've all been saying for a long time, that how is William and Logan, how are they going to exist in the external world from the park and work together? How can they be in the same family together? After now what it looks like William is doing and what he has done, and Logan seeming to be such a proud person, I guess proud as in business sense, not as in, I guess, a proud, nice person. But, he seems to be very business-minded, and William is an underling to him. And what he's done to him in the park, I don't think he could forgive that. So how is the Man in Black William, the Man in Black, how is he going to reach that pinnacle of the business if Logan is still there? Is someone going to have to die? Is Logan going to have to die in the park to be able for the Man in Black to reach his potential here? Which is an option. That's why I've always kind of leaned towards the point there's only going to be one of them left, either William or Logan, because I don't see how the Man in Black can reach that point with both of them still there. But either way, it's going to be cool to find that one out. And yeah, the other thing is, I guess, just what's going to happen with the park. Is it going to go offline? Do they have a rapid response team that's going to come out to stop the hosts when they kind of rise up that we're seeing? Or is it going to be quite secretive? Is it going to be a more subtle attack and it's going to be somehow smothered by Ford? But either way, it's going to be pretty cool to find out. So I'll leave this here. Let me know your thoughts. This is just a bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously. Obviously, this is all a lot of speculation and a lot of fun. I shall leave this video here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me some feedback below. Thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Share the video, really helps me out. And subscribe for future content from myself. And until next time, this is Mesh, and I'll see you later.